The Sagittarius full moon on the 11th of June is not asking you to create another vision board. It's asking you to break free from the limiting beliefs, the perspectives, the patterns that are making you play small, that are keeping you feeling trapped. In this video, we're going to break down this full moon because there is quite a lot of moving parts to it, like most full moons. And then we're going to dive into the 12 sign readings. Now, I would encourage you to watch the overview bit because that shows you all the moving parts so that if things are cropping up, you know what to expect and stuff like that. You know how to use these to empower you to make the better choices. So I would encourage you to watch that as well as just not jump into your 12 sign reading. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Jay. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm an astrologer and a business coach, and I help coaches that are burnt out have their next breakthrough by building a Saturn-proof business that actually feels good in their body. So if that sounds good, maybe consider subscribing. But let's jump into today's video and break down this full moon in Sagittarius. So the full moon in Sagittarius is happening at the 20-degree mark of Sagittarius. This is in the third decan of Sagittarius. And with that, the third decan is ruled by Saturn and is also ruled by the tarot card, the 10 Wands. With Saturn being the ruler of this, you can see that, yes, Sagittarius is that sign that's the explorer, the visionary. They are a wee bit restless. They want to run into things and keep going. They're a fire sign, so they're passionate, they're bold, they're driven towards that bigger goal. They're ruled by Jupiter as well. But one thing with Sagittarius is they want to know the truth. They want things, they want to get that bigger picture. They want to see what's maybe behind the curtain. They want to learn things by doing things. Yeah? Or by mastering things. Right? Sagittarius, they are the visionary. Yeah? They are the visionary. It's more about long-term success and seeing the bigger picture a lot of the time. Now, with it being ruled by Saturn, you kind of got this, there's this little bit of restriction here. There's that little bit of playing it cautious. There's that little bit thing is you need to have that reality check and that grounded approach. You're also ruled by this bit's also ruled by the 10 Wands, which says, what loads can you release yourself from? What burdens can you release yourself from? Because that card, yes, it's coming to the end, it's coming to the closure, it's the completion, but you've carried this load for so long and it's weighing you down and you feel burnt out and exhausted. Yeah? And you may not feel like that during this full moon. That's not what it means, but it's giving you that this is your chance, like, to release this stuff so it doesn't get to that stage. Yeah? And I think with saying that, just remember, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Yeah, there's people there that can help. There's services, there's tools, there's all this stuff. You don't have to carry all this yourself. You can release things and make things more efficient to help you get towards them bigger goals, to help you. Like Gemini may want to know all the knowledge and all that stuff. Saturn's all about them level 10 goals, the big goals that are going to change your life and be long lasting. Yeah, go after them. But don't carry all this stuff with you, because that's just going to limit the growth. Yeah. Like any full moon, a full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So with this one, we've got the sun in Gemini, which is highlighting that Gemini part, your communication, your mindset, the way you process information, that surface level knowledge, the sort of Sagittarius, they'll go to university, study for years. Gemini, they're more, will go to the course at the weekend and we'll do like a wee weekend thing that will get us the information and we'll know enough information to get us by. Both signs are very, very similar in that they're very, very curious. And with the sun being in Gemini, this is highlighting the beliefs that you've had from early childhood, early education, maybe throughout learning the surface level, these beliefs that are keeping you playing small. It's highlighting these, and the moon is highlighting the emotions that are maybe stopping you see the bigger picture. Yeah, the inner world, the things that you're keeping locked down that you need to let go of, that you need to release, that you need to have that culmination point. Yeah, And it is an opposition. So there's that push and pull. The thing with this is Jupiter and Mercury are conjunct, both in Cancer at this point. Jupiter's still at the early degrees around the 0 and 1 degree mark. I'm sure it's still at 0 degrees. And Mercury is conjunct Jupiter. Now, Mercury rules Gemini and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So they're conjunct. They're working together on this. Yeah? And what that kind of says is you've got two polar opposite signs that have got mutual reception. And they're like, okay, we don't have to see eye to eye here, but we can make this work. We can work together. Yeah? And that's the kind of vibe I get with this full moon as well. One thing I'd like to just address before we go on is that no matter what things are cropping up, no matter what things you need to let go of, no matter how many things are going on with this full moon, you all have the freedom to choose what path you take. You all have the freedom to choose what side of this transit do you lean on. Yeah? Do you lean on the side that is keeping you playing small, or do you lean on the side that is for growth? Yeah? And for moving forward and moving on from this, whatever it is that's going on in your life just now. We all have that freedom. We all have the freedom to choose which path we decide to choose. The next thing, we're coming up to the final Jupiter and Saturn square. Now, and also Neptune is involved as well, because Neptune's conjunct Saturn at the moment. So we're coming up to this final square. There was another one back in August, September time, and there was one in December. And this is the third one. Yeah? So you can look back there and see what these themes were. But with that, what that says to me is there's limitations, there's restrictions, there's maybe some boundaries, or you need to maybe be a little bit more responsible if you want to see the growth. With Neptune being there, there might be that wanting to idealize things. There might be wanting to, maybe if things are getting tough, then you may want to escape. Yeah? But just work with the energy. It's like kind of Neptune might not know where you want to go. It's more about feeling your way there. But you know you have to go that way. It's like a kind of, it's following your intuition, yeah? Maybe leading into that spiritual side a little bit with Neptune as well. But Saturn's there as well, keeping you grounded. Like, okay, if that's what you want to go after, I'm all for it. But can we make sure we've got structure, plan, and that this is going to actually last a long time? Yeah? Which makes you move that little bit more cautious, which makes you play a little bit slower. Which when it's in Aries, that's not a bad thing, because Aries is very, let's run head first into things. Let's get things done. Let's get the job started. Is nobody else stepping up? I'll step up. I'll take the lead. And it's about doing these things, but having that slower, cautious, incremental growth with Saturn and that involved. And this it could feel like limited growth around this time. You might feel like, oh, I'm not quite where I want to go. Yeah. And the other thing to take into consideration with this full moon, especially having just mentioned that square that limits your growth, is that there's a mutable grand cross forming in the sky, where you've got the sun and the moon in Gemini and Sag, but then you've also got the north and the south node, the south in Virgo, the north in Pisces. So that's telling you that this is a slower time with Saturn and Jupiter slowing things down, but it's about the south node moving away from them old patterns and old behaviors, going towards that destined path in life. And there might be some challenges. There might be some things that you need to learn, the surface level stuff, but there also might be some bigger picture stuff here you need to start to learn by doing and starting to master things. To be able to, you might have to shift perspectives. You might have to adopt new mindsets and beliefs and to embody the path of going forward. And the thing is, with this immutable grand cross, with Jupiter lighting up the Cancer area of your house, Sag lighting up the moon where your emotions are, and then you've got to look at the Pisces area of your chart as well, really, because that's where the north node is. The south node's in Virgo. So it pulls a lot of different areas in it, and it's going to, there's not really a group of signs that I could say will feel this most, because I think we're all going to feel it. Yeah? I'd say the mutable signs will probably feel it the most because they're in oppositions or squares. But apart from that, like, I think we're all going to feel this in some way, shape, or form. Now, as well as the Grand Cross, so like I said, that's about, it's being adaptable. Mutable signs are adaptable. They're that transition, they're that moving, ending things and being adaptable for moving forward. Yeah. So it's been adaptable on purpose. And just remember that it's about freedom. Yeah. Freeing yourself, and the soul wants freedom. It doesn't want to be stuck analyzing and stuck in your head and trying to go round and round and round. And there's that push and pull between Gemini and Sag. The other thing here is that we've got a fire trine forming between Mars and Leo, the moon in Sag, and Chiron and Aries. Chiron and Aries is highlighting the wounds around identity, around your courage, around your bravery. Yeah, Mars and Leo wants you to take that bold action. It wants you to put yourself in the spotlight. Be brave enough to do that. And when Chiron and Mars are working together here with the moon in Sag, which is your inner world, maybe your fears, the things that are holding you back. And these are all giving you that fire trine, which is a positive. It makes things feel effortless. There's that flowiness to it. It's harmonious. And they're all working together. This tells me you're learning from past wounds. And to get to the next point where you've learned, you then need to master things. You need to have the full perspective shift. You need to embody more of the beliefs. And I think one of the biggest things with Mars and Leo is don't be afraid to take up space. Don't shrink yourself. Be bold, be brave, take stage, be in the spotlight. Yeah? Stand up for the things that you believe in around this time. One thing I will say, with Jupiter involvement here as well, just watch out for overconfidence. Or that over cockiness, maybe a little bit pretentious at times. That could come with Jupiter involved here. There's one more aspect that I just want to touch on before we get on to the 12 sign readings. And it's Mars and Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus. Venus also gets a mention here as well because she's actually making a sextile to Jupiter from Taurus with Uranus. But she's not in a conjunction with Uranus or anything at the moment. She's at the early degrees of Taurus by this point. Maybe she's midpoint actually. I'm not sure. But she does get a mention there as well. So that's about receptive, about the things you enjoy. These things, when they're in Taurus, they've been going through change over the last 7 years with Uranus being there. Uranus is about to move into Gemini. But the thing is here, we've got Mars and Leo, which is your action, your drive, the being in the spotlight, being that main character like we said. Then you've got Uranus and Taurus, which is where is comfort and stability trapping you? Where is it keeping you small? And it's time to free yourself. Yeah? And if you don't free yourself, Uranus will free you from it. Yeah? It will. So you've got this bold wanting to be in the spotlight. And that's going to feel tough. And you've got this tension about like, it's time to free yourself. We can work together here, or it's going to feel tough. And I think there could be whatever with the Chiron wounds and stuff like that around identity. There could be stuff here that's making you shrink, which Mars isn't wanting at the moment. He wants you to take the stage. Uranus wants you to free yourself. You need to be bold here. Yeah? With this transit, I think you could get the sense of, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. I want to burn it all down. I'll burn it down and start again. That's not freeing yourself. Yeah? The thing is, if you tweak, rebuild, or do whatever you need to do without burning it all down to the ground, without giving up, well, you've not failed at anything yet. Yeah? You've just found a way of not doing it and you're going on to a better way. And that's absolutely okay. Yeah, you don't need to burn things all down to the ground. And I think that will be the thing with Uranus. Uranus might make you want to take it all down. But Mars and Leo is bold and brave and in the spotlight. It's more of a tweak here that is going to help you. Yeah? Unless Uranus takes it all away, then it's starting from scratch. It's burning it down to the ground. But I think around this time there could be clarity, truth. you're going to see the wounds, the heat that need to be healed for you to be able to move on in your journey. I'd say there's a lot of moving parts to this one, and they're not all happening on the day of the full moon, but they all have an impact. Yeah. And I think that's where you do need to kind of see the bigger picture here with the unity of that Sagittarian outlook, because it's not just a full moon. There's a full moon, but there's other things. The full moon's the culmination, the closure, the things that need to be let go of so that you can release and move forward. But then there's other things, the Mars and Leo squaring Uranus. Being bold, taking up space. I get the feeling this moon is about playing small. It's time to stop that. Uranus wants to free you from it. It's time to step up and take action and do what needs to be done. Now, we're just going to move into the 12 sign readings. Like I said, we're going to go through and watch them for your sun, moon, and rising. Your moon especially is probably going to be a big bit, which is your inner world. So you can watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Your rising probably will be the most accurate because of the house system. Now, I use whole sign houses. So if you've got Placidus, the house placements might be a little bit different depending on where your houses are set up in your chart. But I'm using whole signs because it's easier for me to do a forecast with whole signs, which means that the houses I give you are full for that side, yeah? But with Placidus, it could change things a little bit. So just bear that in mind as we get into the 12 sign readings. If you're enjoying this video, maybe hit the like button. It helps more people see it. And if you've got any questions, you can let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you've got going on as well. I'd love to know. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. We are starting off with you, and this full moon is in your 9th house, which the sun is shining a spotlight onto your higher beliefs, your higher education, your cultural beliefs, spiritual beliefs, the bigger picture, yeah? And around this time, you may start to have a realization around your purpose, around where you're going. Am I on the right path? Do I need to go back to school? What about if I travel to Thailand for a week? Like, these sort of things might come up, and you might start to get clarity and have these sort of realizations that actually realign you and put you on a path that's where you're actually going to go. And I think with the 9th house as well, publishing does come into that. So this is about taking the knowledge that you've learned, not getting stuck in your head and going through everything, Aries. It's about taking the knowledge you've learned and deepening it and starting to share it and starting to teach it. The fire trine is really going to help you here heal the wounds that are maybe making you play small. You've got such a help with Mars and Leo, who's all about being seen and being that main character, and it's really going to help you fuel that by helping you be that leader that's out online, maybe teaching, coaching, that sort of a thing might come up around this time. So another thing is, with it being in the 9th house, like I did say, you might get that, oh, I want to go to Thailand for a month or something like that. You might actually start to take these things, you might actually start to plan these trips, and or at least start to think about them, have ideas about them, that you can start to, okay, maybe that is a good idea. Maybe I should go and do that. Or it might not even be to go and find yourself as such. You might just want like something you've been putting off for a while, like a faraway trip or something might just start to come into your mind. Like, I remember I said I was going to do that and I never ever done it. This is going to be the time. So you start to plan it a little bit more around this time. One of the things for you is going to be speaking up and owning your truth around this time. Sagittarius is all about speaking your truth. It's very honest to the point that they can be pretty blunt with it. So this is going to be, you're going to feel that urge, Aries, because like you are a fire sign as well. There's kind of that impulsiveness with Aries, and you might find yourself around this time being that little bit more blunt. But make sure it's done in a way, and it is you speaking your truth. Yeah? Make sure you're speaking your truth around this time, because that fire sign is going to be giving you all that that spark, if you like, by helping you with the healing with Chiron, giving you that main character energy with Leo and Mars, and then you've got the moon. Yeah, your inner world, you're being reshaped, you're being put into that leadership role where you can be the pioneer, where you can take center stage and you can go for it. So that fire sign is really going to help. And I think the big message for you, Aries, is to, are you done playing small? Are you going to take up space? Are you going to go big? Yeah? It's time to say goodbye to the things that were keeping you small and stepping into that real leader and being like authentically you and sharing your wisdom and all that stuff. Remember, the ninth house publishing, so start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, do all that stuff, start putting yourself out there so that you can actually get the benefit of this full moon and you're letting go of all the stuff that's keeping you small. Yeah? Have an awesome full moon, Aries. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. For you, we're coming into your 8th house, and this is the spotlight is shining in all the things you share with other people. This might be finances you share with other people. It could be your relationships, the deeper relationships with other people, the money you get from other people. It can also shine a light on them more darker topics as well, like the taboo topics. They might start to, and it's basically showing out, where are you giving your power away, or where are you trying to hold on to control of things in this area of your life where you're with other people. Yeah, where are you trying to manipulate things so that things stay the same? Anything around this time, Taurus, that you've been pushing down, that you've been not wanting to deal with, that you might be like, I'm not got time to deal with it. I'll deal with it when I can be arsed. Yeah, like you might be pushing things down, and these things might come up around this time. These might be around your emotions. They might be around finances. They could, even with it being the 8th house, could also be around sex. Any sort of traumas that need to be healed in that realm could come up around this time for you to release it. Yeah, so that it's not got that grip on you, so that it's not taking your power, so you're able to step into your power. And I think with it being the house of everything you share with everybody else, Taurus, one of the things that could come up around this time with everything going on is, what am I carrying that's not mine to carry? Yeah, I mean, we all, as we go through life, we pick up baggage from other people and other things. And for you, this is a time, right? How can I lighten that load? Yeah. Remember we said at the start, this full moon is ruled by the 10 of Wands. So what can I actually do to lighten that load? What am I carrying that isn't mine to carry anymore? Yeah, this full moon is wanting you to release that. I think as well, you'll probably find yourself starting to look into your self-worth, or this is a good time for you to start to look at how you can grow your self-worth and start to see that it's not all the other stuff outside of you that brings you worth. Yeah, you might start to rewire your self-worth beliefs. And I think for you, when it comes to healing around this time, it's best to do it in solitude, to do it in the quiet time, and to have that time on your own where you can really do the introspection, the things where you've been thinking, oh, I need this to survive. Well, these things might come up because, like, you don't. Yeah. Simply put, you don't. So these things may come up for you to sort of release them. Again, around this time, you might be having, if you've got a relationship, there may be like your libido, your creativity, your bank account might be giving you that a little bit of a side eye. There could be a lot of healing going on behind closed doors here, yeah, and that's going to be the best way. Lean into your spiritual beliefs as well with your healing. Do the spiritual stuff if you're starting to like go into that. This is a good time to doing that. I think one of the things for you as well that might crop up around this time is being able to receive. Yeah, it seems crazy. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, of course I can receive," but a lot of there is actually receiving wounds for people as well, where they're like, "Oh no, they can't even accept a gift," like because it's like, "Oh no, whatever." There's wounds around that, and these might be coming up, and as a way of you to release control, yeah, and so you can attract abundance. It's about letting go of scarcity here as well. And for you, the biggest thing is going to be, how can I own my power? Like I said, the 8th house is all about, where are you holding on to that power? Where are you holding on to control? Are you staying in your comfort zone? Is it time to charge, Taurus? Yeah? around this time, you need to charge and own your power. Don't give it away to other people, other things, material possessions, that sort of a thing around this time. Taurus, have an awesome full moon. Gemini, sun, moon, rising. For you, your relationships in life are getting the spotlight with this full moon. And that's not just love relationships. It could be business relationships, friends, any one-on-one relationship, really. They're going to be reflecting back at you. Yeah. They're going to be reflecting, they're holding that mirror up for you. You might start to see some home truths around this time about how you have been doing things, how you have been showing yourself. Are you showing up as the true, authentic Gemini you are? Or are you showing up as a watered down or somebody who's shape-shifted, or that sort of stuff could come up around this time? Yeah? Are you showing up as the authentic, true vision of who you are? This is all about saying no to molding yourself, Gemini. It's not about molding yourself to fit into a relationship. If that relationship's not for you, it's time to say no. And again, not all just to do with love or that. This could be to do with any kind of relationship. But don't just mold yourself like, oh, at work. Like, don't mold yourself to, oh, if I'm good to the boss, then I'll get more shifts, or I'll get more money, or I'll get this, or I'll get that. No. Yeah? Look further afield if that is the case, that you need to mold yourself to fit into their expectations of you. Around this time, that is something that you should be looking at, Gemini. And I think with this fire trine as well for you, it's going to be like, okay, where have I been staying quiet to avoid conflict? And it doesn't mean that you have to become a badass and start creating problems everywhere, Gemini. That's not what it means. It's more about like, okay, I need to reclaim my power in that stage as well. I think for you, this fire trine is in obviously your relationships, your third house, speaking up, communication, that's that third house. You're getting supported with this around this time. And then your 11th house. This could be your friends even. Your friends, there might be some things that come up around here around friends. Are you molding yourself because you've had these friends for so long and it's just easier to do that when they don't really light you up anymore? Maybe it's time, or maybe you don't get as much, or maybe they're not aligned with where you're actually going. You know that way sometimes when you've got like a group of friends and they're all quite happy in their little bubble doing their thing, but you've got plans of going somewhere else and they don't really want to come along for that journey. They're talking you out of it. They're like, oh, get off your high horse, you're like getting ahead of yourself again, or that sort of a thing. That you might outgrow these around this time, and that fire trine might help you speak your truth. Like, no, actually, that's not what I believe, and I'm going to do what's right for me. And if you don't want to come along for the ride, then maybe it's time to say no. These sort of things might come up around. I think as well, you might start to see where you have took on what other people, like where other people's projections of you have stuck. Yeah, that might come up around this time, and it's time to basically say, okay, that was their projection, but it's not actually me. This is me. Yeah, these things might come up around this time. I think as well, it's about bringing seriousness. Yeah, there's no more casual. It's more about meaning. There's more depth, and there's people might challenge you around this time to show you how much you've grown. Yeah. So you want people to challenge you in a good way. No relationship is 100%. There's no challenges at anything. That's just not real. Relationships come with challenges, and it doesn't mean that the relationship falls apart because there's challenges. It's how you grow as a team together, whether that be in love, business, relationships, or love, business, any kind of relationship. Whatever it is, you can grow together here. Yeah, that's how you work together as a team here. And I think that's what you're going to be starting to think more about. Like, okay, if you're at that stage anyway, you'll be like, let's get more growth here. Let's get more depth. Let's get no more casual flings and that sort of a thing. You want around this time, Gemini, is looking at relationships that are going to help you grow. And if you're in a relationship, then it might be learning to grow within that relationship. Could be the thing for you to focus on throughout this time. Is that person the right person to help you grow? Yeah, there might be challenges, but are you going to work through them and work as a team and grow together? Gemini, have an awesome full moon. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. We're coming into your 6th house. The spotlight is getting shown onto your daily routines, your habits, your health, your work, even your pets come in here. So with that, with your habits coming under the spotlight, the big thing is, am I doing things because I feel I need to, or is this aligned action? Yeah. Is this routine, habit, work, anything, is this actually getting me to where I want to go in life? Or am I just doing it for the sake of doing it? Sag is all about that bigger picture here, yeah? So it's all about thinking, are these going to bring me long-term success? Like, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Yeah, so what can I trim off my plate around this time that is going to help me do better and moving forward? And I think around this time, Sag doesn't like to be tied down. Sagittarius does not like to be tied down. So it's about, yeah, have that structure and have that plan and have that vision and all that stuff, but don't be so tied to it. Yeah, the world's not going to fall apart. Sagittarius want freedom, so it's about bringing freedom to your daily work, health routines. Yeah, I think for you, your 12th house gets a little bit of a mention here, Cancer, because Gemini's there. Yeah, you might see subconscious patterns, overthinking, over explaining, overdoing, these sort of things getting stuck in your head. These things might show up as a way to show you how they sabotage your daily routines, your health, your work, and all that stuff. It's really about taking some time, maybe the quieter time, having that quieter time to do that reflection, to have that solitude, to have that where you can look in and say, okay, right, and be introspective. Like I said, Sag wants freedom, it wants the truth, it wants all these things. And if you are then sabotaging it with beliefs and things that you've had in the past, I need to work hard, for example, that might be a thing. Oh, I need to work hard. I was conditioned. I always have to be the one that works hard. Yeah. Well, it's about working smart. It's about being free and not having tied down to these work and routines and all that stuff. I think with the fire sign for you, you're supported to like have that you're supported around this time to build your self-worth. Yeah, you're going to want to step in and be a main character when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your self-worth, your values. And it's about seeing, do these align with my path? Do these align with where I want to go? Yeah. And it's not just finances, like it's material possessions as a whole. Yeah. If you're living in a place that's cluttered, for example, with loads of stuff that you don't need, then you might get this urge to like start wanting to get rid of these things to bring back things that do make you feel like that main character. Yeah. I think for you, you're going to want to heal your self-worth and your physical body around this time. If you get any wounds around image, these might crop up as a way to deal with them, to start putting your body first as well as your mind. Yeah. I think it's very, very easy sometimes to, like, when you're stuck maybe in that routine and maybe other things have fallen by the wayside, it's just about tweaking these, and you're going to see maybe the things that need to be tweaked to make sure that your body is getting just as much love. With Jupiter in your first house as well, that is you. That is your body. That's your physical body, your appearance and all that stuff. And with Jupiter there bringing growth and expansion, you're going to be like, okay, let's look at my daily health and working routines and all that stuff. Do these actually help me with that as well? I think you're going to see a more holistic view here. I think for you as well, around this time, if your business is starting to burn you out or anything, or if you're starting to, you might look at your work and be like, do you know what? I'm just being busy for the sake of being busy. If these sort of things are cropping up around this time, or if you've already like, I'm in burnout, it's time for me to like, okay, We've recognized it, and now let's do something about it. It's in our daily working routines, the things that show up, the monotonous stuff that show up every single day. Yeah? It's time to say, right, this isn't serving, this is serving, this is making me burn out, this is just for the sake of being busy. You don't have to be busy 24/7, Cancer. Yeah? You've got to have that time for you to do your stuff, to do your health, to do all that stuff, to make sure you're there for your family, your kids, well, all that stuff, not just work and your daily routines. Yeah? We don't have to be so ritualized in that one. If it doesn't feel good in your body, like if you're getting heightened and stressed and all that stuff, then I'd maybe think about saying, okay, it's a no then in that case. Cancer, have an awesome full moon. Leo, sun, moon, and rising, we are moving into your 5th house, which is all about the things, the spotlight is getting shone on the things that bring you joy, the things that light you up, the pleasures that you have in life, romance in your life, dating, sex, that sort of a thing. These things are having the spotlight shone on them during this time. And I think one of the big things for this house that I always think anyway is the things that you've used to have, the things that you used to believe, the things that you used to think about, your imagination and that stuff, that have kind of fell by the wayside because being an adult's got in the way. It's maybe looking at these and seeing, like, obviously you're going to do them in a more mature and responsible way nowadays. Like, it's maybe about bringing some things back, letting yourself be imaginative, letting yourself be creative and that sort of a thing. If you used to like doing, like, I don't know, drawing or painting or whatever it was, can't think off the top of my head, like as a kid, it used to be your safe space. It used to be this thing where you could go and channel your energy into your arts and crafts sort of stuff. Then maybe it's time to, like, okay, maybe I can channel that again and get more results from it, because now I'm an adult, I can have a different outlook, but actually going and having fun. Yeah, it can be very, very easy. And that's being creative, being imaginative, and letting that inner child play a little bit, because it's all in there. Around this time as well, you might find yourself finishing things that you started, creative projects, for example. There might be new connections coming in, or you might start to look at the connections that you've had. What were the patterns? They might be like a little bit of a mirror to you. How were you showing up? Where you attracting? You attract what you are, so are you attracting the right kind of people to you? These things might come up because the 5th house, there's a lot of that being seen stuff, because it is romance and dating and that. And I think one of the things for you, Leo, is where are you dimming your light to be palatable, to fit in, to be seen? Where are you dimming your light and not showing up as the true, authentic Leo that you are? These things might crop up around this time, because this is your time to own your power and be the main character. Yeah? For you, that fire trine is going to be affecting your 1st house, obviously, Leo. You're driven to put you in the spotlight at the moment. With that, you've got maybe some beliefs that you need to shift, or beliefs that are going to actually serve you. There might be some beliefs that is going to come from healing wounds around identity and courage and being brave. Yeah? If you've got wounds there that have kept you small, well, this time, it's time to use this fire trine energy, which is harmonious and supportive around this time, because you've got the moon and Sag in your 5th house. That's your creativity, your identity, your body, with Mars there. You're driven at this time. And then Aries in your 9th house, which is all about that, healing them wounds with Chiron there, healing those wounds around identity and courage and that sort of a thing. You're supported with that, and that's going to help you stop wanting to dim your light and stop playing small and actually owning the stage that you're on, Leo. The biggest thing for you is just to be visible around this time. Let go of the people pleasing, the dimming, and any sort of detachment that you've been doing. Like, I don't care, when really deep down you do care. Yeah? Let go of that and be visible and be the main character, Leo. Leo, have an awesome full moon. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, we are moving into your 4th house. The spotlight is on your home, your family, your inner security, your private life, things that happen behind closed doors sort of things. And I think the big thing for you to ask yourself around this time is what actually makes you feel safe. Yeah? Where does Virgo actually feel safe? Is your home your sanctuary, for example? And the reason for that is because obviously the sun is lighting up your 10th house, your career, your public recognition, your visibility, all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, you can't build legacy on a cracked foundation. Yeah? So it's about this time the spotlight is shining on to that 4th house, your home, your family. And for you, you might even consider moving around this time. If you're like, do you know what? I've outgrown this house. It's time for me to go somewhere else. Or I've been thinking about moving, and this thing you might want to take it a little bit more, or you might start to take it a little bit more serious. As well, you might see beliefs that you have maybe thought about adopting that you haven't, and it's more about, okay, let's bring them into the body and let's embody them now. Yeah, let's not just think about these beliefs, let's start to embody them. Another thing you might find yourself doing around this time is renovating your home. You might be starting to think about what home means to you. There's a few aspects that could bring up grief, guilt, maybe looking back at family conditioning through childhood, that sort of a thing. And again, these things aren't coming up to just bring you down and make you feel shit. These things are coming up as a way for you to be able to say, okay, let's heal them so that we can move on from them. Yeah. So that I always say, like, with healing, it's never ever over, really. Yeah. You're always doing it. But with regards to family conditioning, it's about speaking your truth. It's about aligning your home with where you want to go. If you're still acting like the person that was your parents or that sort of a stuff that you've learned as you were growing up, then that's not maybe where you want to go now. You're not wanting to maybe have the same life they had. You maybe want to take a different direction. And it's maybe around breaking some of the family conditioning that's came up around this time. If you've been told you're too sensitive, or you're too much, or these sort of things, these wounds might come up, and it might be like, okay, now it is safe. Now I feel safe enough. Now that my home's good, I know what home means to me and all that stuff. I feel safe in my surroundings to feel things around this time. I think as well, one thing to watch out for with this during this time is boundaries. And it's having boundaries at home, having boundaries with family. It's okay. Even if your mum says something, it's okay to say no. Yeah. You're an adult now, so you can say no to these things and say it without the guilt. Yeah. If it doesn't align with what you're doing, if it doesn't align, and if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Yeah. You have to be brave enough to say no. And you might find yourself being blunt with it because it is Sagittarius, and if it doesn't align with your truth, you might just go, hell no. Yeah. You might just be a little bit more blunt than normal with that. But it is okay to say no. And that's maybe where the family dynamics could come in from this one. Because I think you might be like, well, do you know what? I'm fed up doing that because you say I've got to. I'm an adult now and it doesn't align with where I'm going. So now I'm going to actually say no. Yeah. You might feel a little bit more brave to do these things around the full moon as well. For you, Virgo, I think I could put this in every Virgo video I do, but like release for perfectionism. Yeah, the stereotypical Virgo, the perfectionist. You need to make sure that you're not just trying to be perfect, because done is always better than perfect. And if there's any family conditioning that's came in through life, then it's time to let go of that and stop pretending that you're fine. Yeah, say how you feel. If you're not okay, you're not okay. And that's okay. We're not all okay every single day, every of the week. You don't have to pretend that you're fine. You can build that legacy on cracked foundations. So make sure you feel at home in your soul, your mind, your body, and in your physical home. Make it your sanctuary. Really take this time during the full moon. It's going to be a few days before, a few days after as well. But take this time to, doesn't this feel like home? Is it cozy? Has it got all the wee things that I like, all the wee things that I want? and make everything feel like home. Yeah. Virgo, have an awesome full moon. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. For you, we're coming into your third house. The spotlight has been shown in the way that you communicate the way you communicate, the way that you process things, the way that you, your mindset, the way that you're speaking about, the way you market yourself even, the way you broadcast things. These sort of things are coming up around this time. And I think the biggest thing for you, Libra, is going to be speaking up. It's going to be letting go of shape-shifting, saying what you need to say to be the peacekeeper and to be the light. Yeah. It's about speaking your truth. Yeah. It's not about just saying, I'll just say that there to avoid the conflict here. It's about really taking that and just saying, do you know what? I'm not okay with that. Or I like that. I don't like that. Speak your truth around this time. Sagittarius doesn't want you to hide behind fakeness here. He wants you to, like, if people don't like you, they don't like you, Libra, and that's okay. Yeah? If you're, like, I obviously work with coaches and that stuff, so one of the biggest things is you want to be like Marmite. Yeah? Because the people that love you then, they're the ones that are your ride or dies. But the other ones, they fall away. And that's okay, because why give somebody that's not a ride or die your energy? Yeah? Speak your truth during this time. And I think one of the things that Libra, Gemini as well, but Libra is guilty of is sometimes they over-explain. Yeah? They over-explain things because they don't want things to get uncomfortable. So they just keep talking, trying to get their point across to make them show up in a better light. Then it's stopping doing that around this time. Yeah? The third house as well is your local community. You might think about moving around this time, but I don't think you'll move too far away if you are moving, or you're thinking about moving. I think the beliefs that you've held through your life, these might be challenged around this time, is a way to upgrade them so you can embody the new beliefs of the future Libra 2.0. Who is the Libra 2.0? Like, where are you going in life, Libra? And where you're going, are the beliefs that you've got just now, did they align with where you're going? The limiting beliefs, the beliefs that keep you small, all that sort of stuff are going to fall away. Like, there might be mindset shifts that you have to have around this time. There is a fire trine, and I think for you it's about around visibility. And it's about being visible, but not shrinking. If that makes sense. I know what I'm trying to say, yeah? You're being visible, and you're not shrinking. You're speaking authentically. You're saying what needs to be said, and you're not molding it to just to be safe. Yeah? You're not just saying what needs to be said to say you've said it. Yeah? You're saying what needs to be said and making sure it lands. You have got that Mars making you want to be the main character around this time. Use that energy. Yeah? That's part of this fire trine. I think for you around this time as well, just watch out for social media use. Yeah? Watch out for doom scrolling. And be a little bit more vulnerable. Yeah. You don't always have to say the nice things. Especially, I know you probably have the people you're closest to and you'll tell them everything. Yeah? But it's maybe about, especially when it comes to like online and it's maybe just being a little bit more vulnerable. And when I say vulnerable, it's not trauma dumping. It's being a little bit more vulnerable. Yeah? Being a little bit more open around this time could be good for you with it being in your third house. You might also learn some truth bombs around this time, or you might be delivering some truth bombs around this time. Just remember, Sag is blunt. Yeah? That can be to their detriment as well. Sag is blunt. They speak the truth. And the truth is not always nice, but sometimes the truth needs to be said. And Sag can sometimes say the truth a little bit too direct. So you might find yourself, or you might find others around this time being blunt with you with regards to the truth. Yeah, around this time. This is a good time for you when you have got that Mars trine support and visibility, when you are being asked to speak your truth, when you are being asked to step into your power, Libra. For you, I would be saying, if you've not got a blog, if you've not got a YouTube channel or a podcast, you might be thinking about considering that around this time. For you, you need to let go of the peacekeeping with this one. That's our modifying it so that it works. Yeah. People pleasing as well. Libra, you don't need to please other people. Be like Marmite, because the people you attract, they're your ride or dies. They're going to be so much more fun than all the people that you have to mold and shapeshift and abandon yourself for. Yeah. Let them fizzle out and keep the ones that are your ride or dies. It's not about quantity here. It's about quality. Libra, have an awesome full moon. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. For you, the full moon in Sagittarius is happening in your second house. The spotlight is being shone onto the things that bring you a sense of self-worth. Your values, your material possessions, your finances. The way you earn money is also in this house as well. And I think the big question for you around this full moon is, if everything was stripped away, how worthy do you feel within yourself? Yeah. And I think the 8th house is being lit up, which is where the fears and the traumas are stored, where you're giving away your power, where you're holding on to control. So with that being lit up as well, there could be some traumas that could come up around intimacy and debt and money and love. These sort of fears and traumas, even sex, could come up around this time. Yeah. As a way of, okay, I maybe need to go to therapy, I need to go and get a coach, I need to go and get counseled, or whatever it is, you might feel yourself that this is a good time to actually start doing these things so you can start to heal from these wounds that you've had in this area. I think healing self-worth, like, I think for you, when it is in your second house and your 8th house access, then you're kind of like, who put them beliefs in your head that you had to suffer or work hard to earn more? Yeah. Around this time, you might be like, okay, well, do you know what? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. You might have thoughts, or you might start to develop newer beliefs, or you might want to embody these beliefs going through this time. I think if you are an online coach, or if you're an online business, or you're a content creator, or anything like that, around this time, if you've been following any sort of bro marketing techniques or tactics, where you're not maybe being the most authentic, that's not going to run right well with Sag. So you might get, do you know what, this isn't me anymore. Like, I just feel icky and slimy with these kind of tactics. I want to embrace more of like an authentic brand rather than just sort of saying the things that will get me views or get me likes or get me these sort of things. You may start to think like more about adopting more truth in your marketing and in your sales around this time. I think as well for you, it's about letting go of settling. Yeah. Like, remember, we're cultivating self-worth here. You're not going to settle for anything less. You're not going to be somebody's sloppy seconds, Scorpio. Yeah. These sort of things, is letting go of that. Yeah. I'm not settling anymore. I'm not just staying here because it's comfortable. I'm not just staying here. I'm going to do what's right for me. Again, that's not always like, I'm not talking about with relationships. It could be in our job. It could be in whatever. Probably more likely a job being the second house, actually. But it's definitely time to not be the sloppy second. It's to be the main character, the main choice here. Yeah. For you, you're being supported with this fire trine, which for you, Scorpio, is in your Mars is in your 10th house. Yeah, it is giving you that visibility. It's about taking center stage. And again, that's where I'm coming up with these bro marketing tactics. If you are out there just saying what you're saying to get likes, views, sales, whatever, like, that's not going to ride. Yeah, you need to own that. So it's, if you want to own it, you need to step in with that inner world, feeling comfortable, able to take your power and speak your truth around this time in the spotlight. Yeah, in the spotlight. There may be some wounds for you coming up around your work and I think it is around hard work. Like, I need to work hard if I want to earn more. I need to work. These sort of wounds might come up as a way to heal them around this time. With this fire trine, you're supported with that as well. And obviously your second house, the way you earn money. The fire trine is really supportive in these areas. And Mars in your 10th house, that's definitely something to use. Yeah, main character, Leo, stepping into your your main character, Eric, your Scorpio. I think as well with the second house, it's not just finances, it's your material possessions. So it's clean out the closet. Whatever you're holding on to, Scorpio. Like, then maybe you're like, I can't let go of that because it's got sentimental value. And maybe it had sentimental value 10 years ago, but what is the sentimental value? Is there a way that you can maybe let go of that now? Like, if you're hoarding anything around this time, then it's time to, like, okay, you might want to, it's time to let go of these things. I think for you, the more physical things might come up as well. And the 8th house case I mentioned, with this access, you've got to say, is what I'm carrying mine, or is it somebody else's? Yeah? Let go of the stuff that isn't your, Scorpio. Yeah? You feel everything. So there's probably bound to be stuff in there that you feel that is not even yours to feel, that you can let go of around this time. And financial stuff might come up around this time. You might want to make a major purchase. You might want to work on your money mindset around this time. I'm just looking at your 9th house. Where's your 9th house? Has got Mercury and Jupiter. You might want to, like, if you're not an online business or anything like this, it might be time to start sharing your wisdom around this time. Like, you've got Mercury, communication, Jupiter, expansion. 9th house does deal with publishing. It's your wisdom, publishing your wisdom here. Sagittarius is going to love that, yeah? But for you, it's letting go of scarcity. Letting go. Like I said, if you at the start of this, if you were to let go of everything, how worthy would you feel within yourself? It was just you, your body, your mind, your soul. How worthy do you feel? It's working on that around this time for you, Scorpio. Looking at overachieving wounds, dealing with them, and cultivating that strong sense of self. Yeah? Definitely for you. Scorpio, have an awesome full moon. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising. For you, this full moon is shining a light onto you. Yeah? We have the sun in your relationships and they are shining onto you. And the question for you here is, who am I really? Yeah? Get honest with yourself. Who are you when nobody's watching? Behind the closed doors. How does Sagittarius behave? Who are they when nobody's watching? It's about getting honest with these things. Yeah? Your relationships are lit up. And that's about asking yourself, are they seeing that version that nobody else sees? And if not, like, how can you be more authentic there? Or are you molding yourself just to be, you know what's also easier just to, like, sort of keep the peace and not worry about that? So we're not going to do that. If you're like that around this time, you're gonna find out about it, yeah? Because your relationships are gonna be lit up for you to see all these things. Are they reflecting growth here? That is a question for you. Are they reflecting your growth, or have you outgrown them? These things might come up around this time. Now, you have got this fire trine, which is giving you the power to take up space. But you have to release the old narratives. Yeah? It's about releasing the old and embodying the new. And again, that's where are your relationships reflecting that growth of you? Yeah? You're in the spotlight here. How are you going to take up space? How are you going to own your worth? How are you going to own your power? How are you going to, all this stuff? Is it all aligned with who you are in your core? If you've been playing too small, or you've been told you're too much, it's not that you were too much, it's they weren't prepared. They weren't your people. Yeah? And cultivating this self-worth and doing all this stuff right now where you're getting into the deepest parts of Sagittarius, like, and showing up more like the Sagittarius you are, anchored in truth. For you, Sagittarius, this full moon is about letting go of dimming your light. Letting go of apologizing for taking up space. And letting go of any outdated beliefs. We all grow, we all evolve, and all the things. So if we all grow and all evolve and do all the things, you're bound to outgrow stuff. Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. Because, like, I think that's one of the things about astrology, is it shows you the seasons, it shows you the cycles, and you can see where you're starting to evolve, and you start to understand that life is just a, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's just a thingy of cycles. It's just a collection of cycles. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's a collection of cycles that go, and we don't want to repeat. We want to move on to the next cycle. Yeah, we don't want to repeat cycles. Keep moving forward, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, have an awesome full moon. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. For you, we're going into your 12th house. And the 12th house is always a hard one, I feel. The spotlight is on the things you can't see. So some shining at the wall, if you like. So it's lighting up all the things you can't see. And the best way to deal with this is solitude. You might actually crave solitude around this time. You might want to go inside and just like not come back out for a little while. Taking that little bit of time to be in hermit mode. But that's okay. Yeah? Like if you watched any of my other videos when I was talking about burnout, it's okay to have a little bit of solitude. Rest is a ritual in its own. For you around this time as well, I would lean into your dreams, your intuition. Yeah? If you're getting dreams of like, oh, well, this is where I wanted to go. This is what I wanted to do. I'd lean into that. Yeah? I'd take these out of the dreams and go, okay, what does this mean? Does this feel good? Does it not feel good? Like, I'd look at that. That's why you need the solitude. Because when you're in solitude and you've got time to think and work through things, you might also have mindsets or wounds around overachieving, old mindsets, and all these things that sabotage what you're actually doing. Yeah? If you've ever had like the fear of success or the fear of other things, these fears might come up because they're going to sabotage things later on. So it's about like, okay, let's take these and let go of them. Yeah? Let go of the patterns, let go of the subconscious patterns that play out, that keep us stuck in a cycle and not able to move on to the next cycle. In Capricorn, I think for one of the things for you here is not to get stuck in that I need to do more, because it is about rest. Yeah, it is about rest. So if you're always stuck in that I need to be doing more, then that is showing you where you're sabotaging things. Because if you're always doing and not resting, it's just a recipe for burnout. So around this time, like look at ways that you can work smarter and let go of the stuff that is no longer letting you. You've got the Spire trine, which is helping you heal heal things around burnout, self-sacrifice, and about being the strong one. Yeah? You have been that anchor for a lot of people, Capricorn. You've been the strong one. We know that. And there's some stuff, there can be maybe some subconscious stuff around that you may need to deal with around that. It's okay not to be. It's okay to be sensitive. And you might feel yourself around this time being more sensitive. You might also find yourself being more sleepy when it's the 12th house. So anything that you've been suppressing, these things might surface around this time. You might also want to lean into new spiritual beliefs. You might find yourself wanting to give more to charity around this time. The basics of this full moon is to let go of the overworking, the guilt around rest. We all need it. We're human. And trying to have everything figured out. Yeah? Embrace being the beginner, Capricorn. Take it slow. It's okay. Work smarter, not harder. That is the best advice for you around this full moon. Have an awesome full moon. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. We are going into your 11th house with the full moon in Sagittarius. This is shining the spotlight onto your friends, your groups that you're a part of, your community. These sort of things are getting the light shone upon them. And I think that the big question for you here is to ask yourself, are the people I surround myself with, are they helping me get to where I want to go? Yeah? Or are they holding you back? And that's where you're going to have to, like, are you leaning into relationships with friends, communities, groups, these sort of things, groups online? Are you leaning into these because you think you should, or you think, oh, well, I've been friends with them for so long, it would be a shame to lose that friendship. They have been good, all these things. rather than, and you know that they're not supportive of where you want to go or what path you want to take. Or we outgrow friend groups, we outgrow groups, we outgrow communities, and that's okay. Yeah. And it's not about cutting people off, like you're no longer my friend, get out. It's not about that. It's about like, okay, maybe I just limit the time with this friend group and spend more time with this friend group because they actually align with where I'm going. So you might find yourself being around this time starting to think about, does this serve me? Does it not serve me? Does this serve me? Does that serve, etc. I think as well for you, Aquarius, is being creative and being visible with it. Yeah. Like put the stuff that you're working on behind closed doors, the stuff where your creative projects, whatever that is for you, but taking them creative projects, the things that you put your soul into, and share them with the world. Yeah. Like be a little bit more visible with your creativity and around this time, because the spotlight is shining onto your friends and your groups. Like they should support the work that you're doing and the stuff that lights you up and your passions and all that stuff. They should support you on that. So, but they can only support you if they see it and they know about it. So, like, put it out. Like, put it to your friends, put it to your groups, put it to your communities, and be on social media. Like, around this thing, you're supported around that. So, but you have got this fire trine, which is in your 7th house, your 3rd house, or your 11th house. So when it's your 7th, 3rd, and 11th, it's authentic communication. It's, are you seeing the things that are down here and not just because you think you should? It's about speaking your truth. You might find yourself around this time being more blunt with the truth as well. Mars is in Leo, which is giving you that main character energy. And then you're driven to be the main character a little bit more maybe as well. And then you've got Sag, who likes to be the truth speaker and like speaking his truth. So they can be a little bit blunt. So you've got the moon there, you've got Mars and Leo, and then there's a wounds around communication. And I think that is whatever it's wounds around identity, because it's Aries, yeah? Wounds around identity, courage, bravery, that sort of a thing. So when it wounds around these things to do with communication, yeah, that makes me think speak truth. Speak truth. And that's with your relationships, with your friends, with your groups and social media, these sort of places. If you're not on social media, again, I would say this is a good time for you, Aquarius, to be doing that. Stand up for what you believe in. And if you are on social media and you've got a brand, does that brand message that you're putting out there reflect who you really are? Or did you put it out because you thought it sounded good? Yeah. It sounded good maybe to the older version of you, Aquarius, but does it sound good now? Is it aligned with your future goals, your future aspirations? Yeah? Is it going to get you there? And if it's not, like, if it's not authentically you anymore, it's time to refine it, to make it more authentically you, so that you're actually aligned with your bigger goals and your bigger aspirations, because that's the 11th house as well. And around this time as well, you might see or remember the dreams, the visions, the bigger visions that you've had in the past. Like, maybe they'll come resurface around this time for you to reconnect with them. Yeah? I'm thinking more projects and that sort of a stuff. Maybe you thought one time, oh, I'll start a YouTube channel, and I never ever done it. Maybe your courage got the better of you around then. Whereas now it's about embracing that and being brave with your words. Yeah? Being brave with your words here. Not shrinking to fit in. Like, I think I can't remember what sign I said it to, but there was one sign that I said, like, it's about, some people are going to like you, some people aren't. Yeah? The people that like you when you speak your truth are your ride or dies. Yeah? You want them. They'll get behind you. They'll make you feel safe. They'll be your people. The other people, you don't need to give your energy to them. Worry about the ones that are going to fight your corner and be there with you every step of the way. And I know we can say that Aquarius likes to detach emotionally and all that stuff, but Aquarius, we know deep down, there is that person in there who wants to feel things. You might have to analyze that a little bit and see, why am I feeling this, and be the inventor and all that stuff, or the research analyst, and that's okay. Yeah? Because you're people. they'll get that. They'll be like, that's them. They're just being them. They'll love that. The people that don't love it, they're not your people. And we know that deep down, underneath that intellectual, that smart person, there is a soul that is like, that wants the connection. Yeah? So this is time to embrace that and not shrink into fit in. Embrace your quirks, Aquarius. Embrace your quirk. Like I did kind of touch on this, was letting go of peer pressure. Letting go of peer pressure and being light over being free. Yeah? That's what I've wrote down here. Being light over being free. You want to be free here. Sagittarius is all about freedom. Aquarius, they want to be free. It's about, okay, this is time where I'm letting go of the ties. I'm letting go of the chains. I'm letting go of that stuff so I can be authentically my Aquarius self. Your beliefs and all that stuff, they might be a little bit weirder than other people's, and that's okay. Embody the future you now. Aquarius, have an awesome full moon. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising for you. We're getting a spotlight shone onto your 10th house. Your 10th house is where the moon is, and that is your career, your public recognition, your ambitions, your legacy. And you're getting that spotlight shone there. It's time for you to take up the space and be in the spotlight. Yeah? To be seen, to be visible. But it's not about performative. Yeah? It's aligned visibility. It's not just trying to be seen by as many eyeballs as you can. Yeah? It's being seen by the right eyeballs that you need to be thinking about around this time, Pisces. And I think with it being the 10th house, there could be wounds around success that come up around this time. Like a lot of people, and how can you be scared of success? But then when you get success and you realize what comes with success, you're like, oh, okay. And if you've had a little bit of success and you maybe got fears around it, or if you've just got a fear of something, you might not even know what this is, and it will come up and you'll be like, oh, that's supposed to be actually holding me back. Maybe I am. There is a little bit of fear of success there. These things might come up around this time because you want success to feel safe. At the bottom, at the core of everything, that's what you're actually wanting. You want success to feel safe. With Aspire trine, again, it's going to be high. It's all about healing the invisibility wounds. And it's about embracing who you are at your core. Yeah? There could be wounds around identity, around bravery. For you, Pisces, it's going to be in your 2nd house. Yeah? 2nd house is where like you're abandoning yourself because maybe you don't feel brave, or you don't feel authentic, or you don't, and not authentic, you don't feel brave, or there's something around identity. Yeah? It's not safe to show up as the full version of me. That sort of a thing. It's about cultivating that self-worth. And I think the fire trine is going to help you with that, because you're going to get the support from Mars and Leo, who's about embracing that main character, being visible, being seen. You maybe feel more driven around this time to be like that. Mars is in your 6th house, work, daily routines, a fantastic place because it's all about the 10th house, which is your career, your public recognition, for the work that you do. Yeah, you got Mars wanting to be the main character there. But it only comes if you heal these wounds that are in the 2nd house, because that's where you earn money, your material possessions, your self-worth, where the things you're getting your value and your worth from. Like maybe you'll be supported to heal these wounds around this time. I think for you, I think with the success thing, a lot of people think of the corporate sort of leaders, sort of a people. And I think if anything, as we've evolved, you sort of see that success is different for everybody. It doesn't always look the same. And I think for you, it's going to be embracing softer success and embracing softer power. It's not about going out there and being the loudest for you. It's about going out there and being the warmest, the one that's the most compassion and that sort of stuff. The soft power. Yeah? And there's a rise, like I can't remember, did I say on social media, did I say on a YouTube video? I've got a video coming out about Uranus and Gemini. And I think with this, it is going to be like, you can see that when Uranus has been in Taurus, there's been this more of a sort of a leadership style, which is more soft, which is more sensitive, which is more all this stuff. When it was in Aries, it was more about the big leaders, the let's get the job done, it's all that sort of a stuff. The bro marketing tactics, these sort of things were really picking up speed in the Uranus and the Aries. And I think with Uranus moving into Gemini, you're going to start to see leaders that are maybe softer, maybe not as bro marketer, but they're going to come in, but they're going to have that message that does the thing. Yeah. And that's okay, because you've got, then that's the good thing. Yeah. Because now your message is becoming more freeing with Uranus. But I'm going to do a video on Uranus and Gemini. But for this video, for the full moon in Sagittarius, start to get comfortable speaking your truth and being visible with your truth. If you are a business, Pisces, or you got a business, so there's a good time to launch something that's from the heart. That could do well. That could come to a peak. That could come to a culmination point launching around this time. When it comes to business, I actually always try, not always, but I always try and align my launch so that it closes on the full moon. Yeah. The cart closes on the full moon. So all that stuff. And that's because at the full moon, things start to slow down again after that. Yeah. After the new moon, things start to get more visible and they start to get more light. And then after the full moon, that light sort of disappears again behind. Yeah. So I like to try and be the most visible. The cart's closing, and then things can come back to being nice and quiet and more hidden. Yeah. That's how I tend to work my launches. I would advise that around this time for you as well. There might be that need to like, okay, I haven't been the most authentic. I haven't been embracing my truth or these things. And then it's maybe time to pivot, realign. These things might come up around this time. It's your 10th house. And if you're now like, okay, I put myself out as this person, but actually then the person that wants to go here is not aligned anymore, then it's maybe time to pivot. You might start to think, okay, for me to get here, I need to let go of this old version and step into this newer version. Because that older version was keeping me playing small, whereas this newer version is me embracing my truth and being in that spotlight. The biggest things to let go of here is people pleasing, shrinking to try and fit in and all that stuff. Letting go of the fear of success, or at least working with the fear of success. Yeah. Starting to heal the wounds that you've got around that stuff. And we know that you feel everything, Pisces. You're like a little sponge. You absorb all their emotions. Yeah. And we know deep down you care. So don't pretend you don't care because you're on camera or because you're in the spotlight. Yeah. That's what I'd say to work on during this, because it is about honest expression with Sagittarius. Pisces, have an awesome full moon.